parents' bed sheets. As it's a full moon in the woods, and technically the rest of the planet too, we flash around a smallish town, and up in the sky, the Void appears. Spooky! Heading over to the woods, Dispatch then calls Sheriff, who's sleeping, claiming he's on a high-speed chase, as he then spots a guy emerge from the woods and tells him it's going to be difficult to crawl all the way home. Getting out to check on him, he shines his light, realizing that he's bleeding. Taking him over to the hospital, big hospital for a small town. Where are they getting all the funding for this? Heading inside with Methy McGee, Dispatch never actually called ahead, as then they dump him onto a gurney. As intern Jackie over here talks to this guy about degloving and how statistically you are more likely to die in a hospital, that data seems a little skewed. Typically, you aren't just hanging out in a hospital if you're feeling well, so death kind of comes with a turf, doesn't it? That's like saying, oh, you're more likely to be killed by cows than bears. Okay, well, you're probably around more cows than bears, right? Is it cows or dogs? I think it's dogs. You're more likely to be killed... No. Yes. You're more likely to be killed by dogs than by bears, I think they say. No, sharks. You're more likely to be killed by dogs than sharks, but it's like everybody has a dog. That was, anyways. Also, I don't know if it's all nurses and doctors or what, but I actually remember I went on a date with a girl who was double majored pre-med in chemistry. Halfway through the date, she told me she bets that I have a nice liver. She knows nothing. This thing is destroyed from college. And if I were to start internally bleeding, she would cut into these areas in order to stop it. Then she started talking about my kidneys. Anyhow, absolutely bizarre and creeped out. I could only allow myself to go on 3 more dates with her after that, just to confirm. I'm pretty sure she was trying to harvest my organs, so I'm assuming this is just healthcare flirting in general. Great times. So intern Jackie over here offers to give him a catheter. Again, I think this is flirting for nurses because of the implications. Rolling over to go get some sleep, not realizing he's being hit on, or just completely wanting to ignore that, Power then starts flickering in the hospital. Mom and then meets Branson's granddaughter as she's preganimated. Hearing yelling in the next room, Methy McGee is freaking out as they trank him. Evidently, the hospital's resources are limited as they spent all of their budget on making this giant hospital and not stocking it at all, as then they see he has needle tracks as Lawman has some blood on him. Horrifying. Bloodborne pathogens? Scare the hell out of you. So wiping the blood off, Lawman's wife then comes in being real nice to him, which makes him suspicious. Real. Claiming it's good to see him, Dr. Loomis from H2O, not the original, comes in as Lawman is told to be gentle with his wife because she's struggling. They had lost their offspring, so yeah, it makes sense to me. Maybe the why are you being so nice to me line wasn't the swish you think it was there, brother. Miscarriages actually cause a lot of mental anguish. So leaving his office, Lawman then walks into a patient's room, seeing the nurse from Dead Space 1 has taken a guy out who didn't know how to flirt. That was his problem. Intern Jackie could have stayed there. So saying it's not her face, she then starts cutting it off, as then she goes after Lawman. Bro has been through training though, as he pulls and he fires the force multiplier, dropping her on the spot. Stay strapped or get clapped. Everyone then runs in asking what happened, as he's like, oh, she ran at me. Well, she walked towards you, I guess, but headed to the bathroom and then throws up after doing the hand squeeze thing, which actually, if you didn't know, let's say you're on like the verge of throwing up. I believe it is if you make a fist really hard with your left hand and squeeze like as hard as you can, this can actually trip up the vagus nerve and prevent you from throwing up. Also, you shouldn't be drinking at all, but I'm a YouTuber, not a cop, and I also love tequila. But if you ever take a shot and you feel like you're about to puke, have your friend punch you in the shoulder like 60%. It will actually disrupt the repeating pattern of nerve signals that lead to vomiting by focusing your brain on an external attack as opposed to an internal one. So anti-vibing in the mirror would then flash over to some Modest cloud, which I'm pretty sure it's how you pronounce it. We need to confirm that name later. Anyways, we're somewhere with a giant triangle forming in the sky. Actually, I also confirmed it. It is not Mammoth clouds as I had written first. I am no meteorologist. Lawman has been passed out as Dr. Loomis is checking on him. The state trooper has arrived or is on the way. They're a little vague on that one. So heading out. Yes, the lady is here. Giving him the information, evidently there was a bloodbath 20 miles north as the trooper then cuffed Methy McGee and then takes Lawman's force multiplier as per standard operation since he just doped the nurse. Going to call in what's happening. The radio is all static. The phone and doesn't work as he calls back to the trooper saying he's going to go check on the car and then call it in. Entering the cruiser, he then calls back to dispatch, who doesn't answer. Small town, I guess, I don't know. Local radio, only apparently in this area. Looking up, oh good, Squid Games is here. Yelling over to him, he does not answer at all. The lights go out as Squid Game begins attacking him, trying to stab Lawman, almost successfully taking him out, as then more Squid Games appear. Running back inside, Dead Space Nurse has already done so, and she's just got squids coming out of her face, and then recruiting intern Jackie to get views of space and triangles. They manage to stop the bleeding on Lawman as then he gets back up.
I got it.
Oh man, pectoral stab.
I was gonna play you
That does not feel great. Squid Games have surrounded the entire building and are blocking everyone